like that, we should be live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. It is good to have you with us on this wonderful Saturday evening. I hope you're having a good day, good start, end of your week, good start to your weekend, all that good stuff. Today, we are going to be jumping into some Powerwash Simulator because I've never, ever played Powerwash Simulator. Also, guys, I'm so tired. I pushed myself quite hard at the gym this morning. Did my first lifting session. It was fun, but I am exhausted today. I've just felt tired all day. And so I didn't fancy diving into something really big. I figured something small, simple, and satisfying like Powerwash Simulator would be a good choice. Because basically it becomes a just chatting stream for us. It becomes a kind of tea with Tom, but with something going on in the background to keep me awake. So that is the plan for today. That's what we're going to be doing. Let's jump into chat and see who we have with us, chatting with us today. Azalea, hello. Raging Zekron, hello. Akira, oh yeah, I really need to play this game. I spent the last half hour watching sheep shearing videos because they're so satisfying. Well, there we go. I'm glad that we're on theme for you, Akira. Swiftly produced, hello, and why? Why? Because why not? Satisfying game. I'm tired. I need to stay awake, so I couldn't just do a just chatting stream. Also, because I hadn't really decided fully on a new game to jump into. We've got a nostalgia game going. We've got a Pokemon game going. I'd like something new, something that's like a relatively recent release. I just couldn't find anything. And again, I've been so tired today that I've not, had the brain space to think of something new. In October, I know there are a number of new games out which I'm very excited for. I know we got things like Assassin's Creed. I think Alan Wake 2 is coming out. Spider-Man 2 is coming out. So we got a lot of new things coming out in October, which is going to be great. Sip, hydration. Well, mother demands it. So that is the plan. But today we're going to be just taking it chill and having basically an unofficial tea with Tom. It's going to be great. Zuzu Loves, hello. Steffi, Johnny, hello. Nika's Gaming Universe, hello. I want this game so bad. It looks so satisfying. Satisfying games. Poison Heart. Hello. Hello indeed. Peppermint Pumpkin. Hello. Eleanor. Good to have you. Goobapotamus. Hello. Hello. I'm also playing a dad game. House Flipper. Very good house game. Very good song about that by the Stipendium. Who makes a power washing reference in that song. GT Live. Hello. 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 Good to have you all so much. Yeah, I don't think Baldur's Gate would even fit the channel. No, Baldur's Gate is not the vibe. I've looked into Baldur's Gate. It looks fun. It might be something I play in my own time. I don't think it's a fit here. It is far too... we're thirsty people on this channel. We love a good hydrate every now and again. But we are not that kind of thirsty. It is not that kind of stream. Everyone, Player Lefty, hello, hello. Captain Psych as well. Good to have you guys. And Kuya Koi. Hello, hello, Koi. It's great to have you. One more satisfying game. Ghostly Calamity. Hello, hello. I hate having 2 ads before I can watch the stream. I'm sorry. It's the only way I get any revenue. I'm sorry, Ghostly. Sorry, please forgive me. Please forgive me. At least I don't activate mid-rolls. Did you know you could activate mid-rolls for a stream? I didn't. Apparently you can. Apparently I can hit a button and after certain amounts of intervals, it will just go, hey guys, here's an ad break. Didn't know, but I would say I felt that's a bit too weird and a bit too mean. You can turn off the not safe for work for the game. You can. It's high fantasy stuff like that because it's D&D based, right? It's never been my sweet. Maybe I'll check it out, but who knows? Hope you're all doing all right. I had a rough night, so at least I'm sorry to hear that, Zekron. Hopefully you're doing okay now, and if not, we'll hear. You know, a D&D campaign would actually be fun with you. Yeah, a campaign on the channel. Maybe at some point. It's a bit crazy. I'd love to do something with, I know Dan from that Cyber channel really wants to do a D&D session with all of us. Because I've done a D&D session with him in the past, and it's really fun. And I know a group of us have talked about streaming a D&D session. So we'd all stream our perspectives of it. Possibly, and then use use Discord and stuff so we can hear everyone else. And then maybe we collate it all together at the end. I don't know. We talked about it, which would be fun. I'd like to do that. I'd like to get my my Bard character back in play. I haven't used my Bard in a little while. The Great Loxian! Greatest Bard of all that no one has ever heard of. Oh god, please never do that. No, I don't plan to, Azalea. You're good. Do that for BRB screens. I wish. I need to look as to whether it's even possible. So if I can do a BRB screen and just place an ad there, great. But I don't think it will happen. I don't think YouTube's that clever. Good time zone, Fable Rain. Good to have you. Got to dip for a bit. Got to walk the dog. We'll be back later. No worries. It would be a very, very long series. It would be. It's fine, Tom. It's just annoying when my Wi-Fi crashes. I try to come back quickly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ghostly. I'm so sorry. I'm actually drawing my friend's D&D character right now. I have got a character being drawn. It's not a D&D character, but I do have something being drawn by a good friend of mine who is, I will, when I officially have the sign-off to share it, I will share it with you guys. And I intend to turn some stuff. We're slowly in the process of getting emotes made so that I can start memberships and have emotes for you guys as well. It is in the works. It's just taking longer because the artists I know are incredibly busy people and they're incredibly talented people. So it is what it is. Bard is fitting for Tom. Yeah, Bard character absolutely peak. Yeah, it makes sense. There's some members on just because they already have a D&D campaign, me included. That could also happen. I mean, you guys are free to run your own D&D campaign. I'm probably not going to be able to run a D&D campaign with the Discord, just for a handful of reasons. But if you guys want to run a D&D campaign, go right ahead. I look forward to seeing the chaos that ensues. And aimed for yesterday, but they need someone with certain experience I don't have. So I'm sorry to hear that, Akira. Sorry it didn't work out. I wish YouTube had a mid-roll add you control on by the scene deck. I know, it'd be great, wouldn't it? I know you can. I think you can on Twitch. I don't know if YouTube went that way. Sabina, hello, hello. Yeah, so we can do our D&D campaign first IRL. It was so fun. Also continue what was supposed to be a one-shot this morning. Basically became a whole two-shot because we were slow. Yeah, that's the thing. D&D always gets derailed, and my fun is always derailing Dan. I was never good at derailing Dan. Matt Pat is incredible at derailing Dan. He would just do the most... He would just treat things really logically, which you're not supposed to do in D&D. And so he just, like, it was crazy. It was fun. Yes. Has it finished downloading? It's not yet finished downloading. I'm kind of stalling because the game hasn't actually finished downloading yet, so we'll see. Yeah, becoming an official streaming channel, exactly. Hopefully I can get the, I've got everything. I've got the badges made. I made the badges myself. I've got the badges. I've got the tiers all set up. I think it's just, and the rewards and stuff, I think it's just emotes that I've got left. I think emotes are the only thing, and so the artist is working on like a core design for me, and then we will make alterations in order to make it work for emotes. Different emotions, basically. Yeah, so you'll have things like a lurking. I want to do a lurking image. I want to do a lurking emote. I want to do a sip emote, obviously. Things like that. I think it'd be fun. Things that you guys can use in the chat and we can spam. Well, there we go. There's that. Steam, thank you very much for letting me know. Tea with Tom right now. It's kind of a tea with Tom. It's like an unofficial tea with Tom. Tell them about our dinner. I mean, I can. I made chicken tenders and coated them in a mango habanero sauce. When I said we went to Slim Chicken, I think it was the last Saturday, I bought. Well, I got a mango habanero sauce, which was a great sauce, but it didn't go with my fries, and I already had like barbecue sauce on my burger, so I didn't need it, so I took it home. We just coated it in that and then put those into burgers today. It was great. Mini tea with Tom, sips with Tom, coffee with Tom. Coffee with Tom. Slim Chicken is crazy good. It is good. It's quite pricey for what it is, though. It's good, though. I will agree. But yeah, so we then made the chicken tenders, put them in a thing. Did, stop. Why are people texting me? And so I, yeah, just wanted to, yeah, so we took that, shook it all up, put it in a burger with some cheese. Done. You're a real gamer with the chicken tendies, indeed. Gotta have those chicken tendies. I pick Cane's over Slim Chicken. I mean, I've never had Cane, so I can't argue. I'll be lurking sometime in the near future waiting for dinner. Bacon and rice thing, I remember right. Ooh, interesting. Catch up on the stream later out with the hubs and friends celebrate his birthday. Well, happy birthday to your husband, Vanessa. Give them my best. Let us. There'll be nothing on screen. Of course there won't be, because... No, not that. What am I doing? Where are we? Game. I need to open the game. That would be helpful. Good job, me. Professional streamer here. Not really. I'm not really professional. I'm still an amateur streamer, really. Yay! We have visuals. Do we have some sound? We might have some sound a bit. It's quiet right now. Yes, yes, yes. Accept the privacy policy. There we go. Oh, gosh. There are special things we can do mid-car. Spudge Square Press a Tomb Raider. Oh, my goodness. And then you've got career mode as well. Let's start. I'm just going to start with like, oh gosh, we've even got bonus ones. Free play challenge mode. We'll start the basic career because I've never played this before. So let us just see kind of how we... Oh wait, can I play with a controller? Again, because I mean, yeah, because I feel like I'm going to be really like... Oh my gosh, that's how you do that. Okay. How do I escape? Because I need to close the game in order to, I need to quit the game in order to plug the controller in. Because otherwise I have issues. Because my PC skills, I am not that much of a pro gamer that I can play with my... Can I get you working? As well, because we probably need some background music, because I have a feeling that background music ain't gonna work. Or the background, it's not gonna have much background music. That's not what I want. What I want is... Where's my iTunes-y thing? How do I get iTunes? iTunes, where are you? Are you in window capture, maybe? Where are you? I can copy it from just chatting, to be fair. Probably, maybe. Yeah, there you are. Just copy you. I'm just going to paste you into here so we have some music for reference. Great. Now get iTunes up. Where are you? There we go. Cool. Do I have a controller and can I use it? Will it work? Cool. We're in with a controller. Great. Let's go then. Gosh, so many buttons. So many buttons. Select extension with X. A is to jump, B to select soap, Y to select nozzle, use washer as right trigger, next nozzle or rotate equipment is that button. Rotate nozzle, refill cleaning liquid, previous nozzle, walk, hold down to sprint, aim, toggle. Okay. I mean, this is satisfying. Let's just turn you... Oh. Weird that it's controlling both the... Let's turn those sounds down a little bit. They're quite abrasive. Hey! Wouldn't a mouse be nice for this game? Not if you're not used to using a mouse and keyboard. Like, if that's what you're used to using, then yes, I'm sure it would be lovely to use a mouse and keyboard. I am not used to it. I am not a PC gamer. And so this worked quite nicely for me. I'm sure you can get way more accurate with a, yeah, I'm sure you can get way more accurate with a mouse and keyboard. Have you tried multiplayer? I've not even tried this game, let alone multiplayer. Interesting. I forgot about the little dings when you get stuff. I have used a power wash once in real life, but it was on wood, so it was nowhere near as satisfying as this. Nice. Boom. Tire done. I'm gonna sneeze. Achoo! Excuse me. Jeepers. Clean the window. Clean the window. Wing mirror needs to be cleaned. Boom, baby. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. This side is clean. Look at it. Almost. Die, grime. Boom. Dang, you're a mucky bumper. I've got, like, some jump on me. Okay. Boom. Are you rating my sneezes? Oh, you can go like full on prone. There we are. Lovely. I'm like concentrating so hard. I might have to move chat over because otherwise I'm going to get so distracted by seeing this I'm not going to be able to look over at chat enough. Boom, that's the door clean. Window gonna be clean, great. Yeah, I'm gonna move chat over a little bit just because right now I can't see you guys at all. I'm worried that this is going to go full screen and not going to let me. Can I make this full screen or not full screen? Oh no, I've lost chat. Oh no. I have lost chat. Where has chat gone? No! Disaster has struck. I have lost chat. No! Oh no, chat's here. Chat's fine. I found you. I found chat. Yeah, because if I do that, then now I have lost chat. No, it's still there. Okay. Yeah, no, I can't have that. That's so annoying. I want chat here. I wish I could make chat work on this window. Because otherwise I'm going to keep missing what you guys are saying. And I don't want to, because the whole point is to chat with you guys while I'm doing something silly. I was a Powerwash for the first time. It was fun as you think it is. It is quite fun. It was less fun because I was doing it on wood, and wood is not a fun thing to pressure wash in real life. But things like a car are fun to pressure wash, and a patio. My parents have a patio, and actually I may have power washed their patio as a kid, and that was always fun. Because you're not, like, going to accidentally damage the, like, the patio if you do it wrong. Whereas with wood, if you do it too strong or too close or any of this stuff, it's going to do more damage. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get this wheel. Hubcap and the tyre. Hubcap and tyre for this one. Boom. Everyone just keeps wanting fried bananas. What is it with you guys and fried bananas? I do not understand. Boom. Nailed it. Oh, nailed it. Nailing it. Nailing this. Boom, boom, boom. Nice, nice, nice. I know I'll have to do my smaller nozzle probably, won't I? Boom! Just the body now that needs fixing, which I need to get onto the roof! Washing it all get clean. This is wonderful. No. I had such a good line going then. Ruined it. Damn it. Every time. I had such good lines going on and then I ruined it. Because I'm thinking too much about it. When I don't think. I definitely didn't finish cleaning that, but sure. Cool, I guess. Oh, it shows the character now as well. I did not realize that. I did not realize that it showed the character now. That's fun. Okay. Swiftly wants a childhood story. Tell a childhood story. Oh, gosh. Childhood story. I think I've got to clean SpongeBob's house, surely. Oh, it's only available for purchase in the Steam store. Maybe not then. Maybe I won't be doing that then. Do the garden then, why not? Gosh, childhood story. I mean, story from what? Like, it's one of those things I feel like I've been put on the spot and now I'm like, what do I do in my childhood? Well, what is a childhood? Did I have one? I don't think I did anything for the entirety of it. What is a good childhood story? Like, what can I talk about? Give me a jumping off point. Someone, like, give me a jumping off point to talk about with a childhood story. I mean, we do need to add to the lore, the iceberg and all that. First video game. That's quite a good one, actually. First video game. What was my first video game? First video game. What would that have been, technically? First video game I owned? Now, it was either... I can't remember which came first. First video game that I actually owned was either Crash Bash for the PlayStation 1, or it was Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy Color. It would be one of those. One of those two was my first ones I got. I remember Crash Bash specifically because I think it was a game we played at a friend's house. I think it was I think we played it at a friend's house, and so it was like, this is a fun game. We should, like, so we just, like, played this game because we thought it'd be fun. And by a friend, I actually think it was a youth member, and I think my dad was playing it with some of the youth, because my dad used to be a youth pastor for many years. And so I think he was playing with them, and I was very, very young, and occasionally I'd get to play. And so Crash Bash was what I played. So when we got ourselves a PlayStation 1, which my dad used to play games like Medal of Honor and stuff on, I played Crash Bash with my brother non-stop. I'd love to play Crash Bash with my brother on stream, because there was a co-op mode, and I think it'd be funny for us to do the co-op mode together. But yeah, so that was, I think, the first game I played. I can't remember if I had the PlayStation first or the Game Boy first, but I do remember getting, oh gosh, getting my Game Boy Color and getting Pokemon Gold, and not fully understanding how the game worked. You know? So, like, I would battle, I'd catch things, but I didn't really understand type advantages much of the time. I didn't understand, like, what was good and what was bad. So I think there was, like, that. Dang, bro got jump. And then gold. Gold was my actual first. I went back and played yellow. But gold was my actual first one. After, in terms of, I saw someone ask what game I finished first. What game did I actually finish first? Because I definitely didn't finish Crash Bash, and I didn't finish any of those games. Like, I had, what else? Other games I have? I had games like A Bug's Life. I had Toy Story 2. I had Rayman. I don't think I finished any of those, sadly. I did finish... What did I finish? What was the first game I finished? Did I finish Ratchet and Clank? I'm not sure I did. Not on my first go-through. The first game I finished. First game I finished. What are some early game memories? I can't remember if it was as late as Pokemon Ruby being the first game I ever truly finished. It might have been Pokemon Ruby. But that feels quite late. Even for me, that feels quite late. You know? So I don't know if it was Pokemon Ruby or whether it was actually another game that I'm just totally forgetting from my brain. Because we had a lot of PS1 games that we never beat. It wasn't until I got into, like, PS2 era I actually started, like, beating games. And that's when I had games like Simpsons Hit and Run. It's when I had games like... What other games do I have? Simpsons Hit and Run was one that I really enjoyed having. Digimon Rumble Arena I had and loved. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I'd love to play Budokai 3 on the channel at some point. Budokai 3 has got a real nostalgic place as Dragon Ball games go. But yeah, so really, really love that game. That was a really fun one to beat as a kid growing up. I think it might have been Pokemon Ruby was actually the first game I, like, officially completed. Kingdom Hearts was my first 100% completion. I don't know if I ever completed a game 100% other than Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I'm currently in the process of 100%ing Kingdom Hearts 2. Or 2.5, I should say, because it's the final mix. Which is harder, because complete 100%ing Kingdom Hearts 1.5 is actually really, really hard. Just because of, like, the extra heartless. I watched someone do a speed run of that, of Kingdom Hearts 1.5, and do all those bonuses and get all those extras, and I was like, dang, that is insane. Like, it was interesting watching the techniques and going, oh, so that's how you beat that heartless. That's how you win that level. Because I've been so stuck on so many of those levels for so long. I think my ace was on gold. I had something like a level 80 something Typhlosion, and nothing else could beat my nothing could beat my Typhlosion. But I had just, like, over leveled Typhlosion and nothing else. So I think on gold it was a Typhlosion. But I don't remember actually beating the Elite Four with Typhlosion. That one was easy. 300% in Cuphead. Dang, that's impressive. That's very, very impressive. I was always confused by games that had over 100% completion, because I was just like, but if it's over 100%, like 100% is meant to be, I have fully completed this, there is nothing left to do. So how is there more that I can get over 100%? Because surely if you, like, so if it's 300%, what it actually means is 300% is 100%. 100% is only 33.333 recurring percent complete. It's not actually 100% complete. It just seems odd to be like, oh yeah, there's like a step above 100% completion. Always confused me. And it also made the lives of people like the completionists a nightmare. So, very glad I didn't make that career path. Lawnmower. I'm just doing all like the ancillary bits first. Because this is very me, where I get bored and I have to do like lots of little jobs that I can complete. I like to do all the little bits first and then I go back and do the big bits later. I like when games do that. I like Hollow Knight when you go for 100%, you could do it without... Yeah, no, it's fair. It just confused me growing up. Because I was like, I beat it. And it's like, no, you didn't. There's actually like, you know, 200 more % to get. And you're like, but I beat it. It said I beat it. You're like, nah, bro. Way more to do. It's not that easy. How did you get... I mean, I guess it's rusty, isn't it? Just like, how did you get this thing this dirty? Seriously. So much like dust and... rust and dirt. I said dust and rurt. Then that was foolish of me. Toy car! I never went door to door with my church. That's nothing. We never did that. We never did the door to door thing with church. So I've got no door to door stories from church history. Sadly. Sadly for this occasion. Good thing for my childhood. Did you ever have someone restart a Pokemon game? I think my brother might have done my gold, which is why I don't think I ever fully beat it, because I think my younger brother, who didn't really understand Pokemon at the time, was like just reset it, and I was like, how dare you? That's my like only version of that game, so I never beat it. But by the time we got to Ruby and Sapphire, he was old enough to understand the concept, and so we played Ruby and Sapphire together. So I was Ruby, he was Sapphire. Dang. How do you guys get this place so dirty? It's almost like you live maybe next to an active volcano and maybe that's a bad thing. It's almost like I wrote a game theory about that exact issue. Boom. Hello, Killer for you, and hello, Benji. I've been lurking while I get ready for vacation. Well, have fun on your vacation. I'll say hey, because I haven't been able to make a live stream for a while. No worries. It's great to have you back, friend. Thanks so much. What other crazy story? Yeah, so I don't have any childhood stories about, like, going door to door at church. I'm trying to think if there are any others. Any other, like, crazy stories I might have. I'm just trying to think. Skiing from childhood. Yeah, I used to go skiing a lot. That was always fun. I enjoyed that. We went a lot. I'm trying to think, like, if there was anything really weird or crazy that happened on them, because I'm not sure there was. Like, I did all sorts. I did some weird stuff. I used to do a lot of off-pisting. I used to do a lot of, just crazy stunts, going off jumps. I actually ended up breaking... Actually, that's a funny story. I ended up accidentally breaking my mother's thumb while skiing. It wasn't technically me. It was her fault for trying to keep up with, like, an 8-year-old. So, as an 8-year-old, you have no fear. Particularly when it comes to skiing. You often just don't have any fear. You're just like, I can do this. I can handle anything because I'm 8 and I'm invincible. And I bounce because I'm young and my bones aren't brittle yet. So I was skiing. There used to be, where we would go skiing, there were sometimes races and stuff held. And so there was a section which had all these jumps in it. And I was like, oh, that's fun. I'm going to go do that. And my mum was like, no, you can't go alone. You're too little. You need, you know, someone to, like, protect, like, to stick with you and make sure you're safe. And I was like, oh. Well, I was like, okay, well, I'm going and doing it, so you can come with me or not. So she came. And inevitably, things didn't go to plan because there were these massive jumps. And I just took the jumps full speed ahead. Just absolutely gunned it over these jumps to make, like, got some massive air. At least for an 8-year-old, it felt like massive air. Get some absolutely massive air. And then, with my mum proceeded to try and follow me. But in doing so, ended up... She basically went too fast, fell over backwards, and by falling over backwards, she then landed on her thumb to try and save herself, and ended up breaking her thumb. And now she can tell whenever it's going to rain because her thumb starts to hurt. It's funny, she's never used her powers for good, like gardening. She started to in recent years now that she's, like, getting old. But yeah, she... So, yeah, I just kind of was like, I'm gonna go down this jump, or these sets of jumps. She was like, well, you can't go alone. She then ended up falling over and hurt herself quite badly. I felt no remorse because I was like, well, you shouldn't have had to follow me. You should have just let me go, or you shouldn't have tried to keep up with my speed because I was stupid and reckless. Another funny story about my mum today... For years, I've had hay fever. Or allergies, as the Americans would call it. I've got allergies. In the springtime, I get really bad allergies. My hay fever's really awful. That is a thing that I have to deal with, sadly, as a human being. But a weird thing that it's become a part of is there are certain foods that I can't eat. There are just a handful of foods that I am unable to consume because they give me the same allergic reaction. And my mum, like, never truly believed me. That this, well, she did believe me, but at the same time, she never understood it, I should say. Rather than she didn't believe me, she never understood it. And so, it was weird, right? I had all... but it just kind of came about when I was much older, so she never really understood it. My mum's one of those people, she can't explain it. She's not entirely convinced if it's real or not. Or, like, you know, she'll just be like, oh, it's weird and, like, freaky. And, like, she has to have a scientific answer for things. And so, but today, she literally sent me a message being like, there's this food allergy syndrome. Or, like, it's something like that. I forget what it's called. Food something syndrome, I think it is. It's like FPS, ironically. And so she sent it to me going like, oh my gosh, I never knew this was a thing. Or I never understood that this was a thing. And basically it's like, yeah, you can be allergic to certain foods and like 61% of adults... Oh gosh. What just happened? Yeah, 61% of adults like have it. Why? I'm not pressing the... Oh, it's because I'm leaning on my space bar. I was like, why am I jumping? But yeah, apparently a lot of adults have this particular thing where hay fever can cause you to be allergic to certain foods. So like, I'm allergic to raw potatoes. So if we're peeling raw potatoes, I can't do it because I end up with an allergic reaction. I also can't eat apples or pears or cherries, things like that. So it's that sort of thing. You know, not like the most unusual of things, but it's a bit odd. Like, we never really understood where it came from or why. But she messaged me going, oh my gosh, this is a thing. I've just found it. And I'm like... How has it taken you almost 30 years? Probably, okay, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say 20 years because I didn't have this food allergy my entire life. So it's like, how is it taking you 20 years to suddenly look into this and go, this is a real thing. Maybe I could help my son. My mum is a pharmacist, by the way. So helping, like, and she's taken, like, courses to help diagnose and prescribe. So it's like, if she could, like, she should be able to diagnose people. And she couldn't diagnose me for 20 years. So, and also, it took her 3 years to realize I had hay fever. Seriously, like, she was genuinely like, he keeps getting this rash the same time of year, but I don't really understand what it is. It was hay fever, Mum. It was hay fever. Bless her. Love my mum, to be clear. Absolutely love my mum. But it was just funny that a pharmacist that literally makes a living prescribing people drugs to, you know, get better, couldn't diagnose her own kid for 3 years and then for a further 20 years. Hey, Nika. Just upping the music and changing the levels of things. Because I was aware the power washing noises are quite loud and they're consistent as well. And the music's also quite quiet, so... Leave her alone, she's doing her best. She is doing her best. I love my mum great. I love my mum a lot. Like, she's wonderful. I just like to tease her. And this is one of those things that I can tease her for, is being like, you couldn't even diagnose me. You call yourself a pharmacist. Dang. These places are so filthy. It was fun doing the theory on this one and having to be like, why are all these houses so dirty? And that essentially being the lore that we had to find when the game was in like early alpha or whatever it was at the time. It was just quite fun to be like, what on earth? Why would a town be this dirty all the time? Like, everything is just so dirty. Why? Because there's a volcano. Ah, that's why I can't get the roof clean. Let me up. Interesting. So if I hold directional button towards it, I can stay on it. I guess I'm doing this then. Well, that was easy. There we go. Yellow is all you need. Yellow is basically all you need in this game. You don't need any of the other things. Boom. Oh, I see you hiding there, crevice. Bam. So I'm happy. Have you ever gotten into any kind of accident yourself? Yeah, I have 2 motorcycle accidents. I have been in 2 motorcycle accidents. Neither were my fault. Or deemed not my fault, I should say. I wasn't really at fault. It was just that the other people tended not to be looking properly. But I don't know. But basically, I had, 2 motorcycle accidents. One, I was driving home from work on a Friday night. I was very excited. I think I got off early. So I was like, yeah, I get to go home early. This is great. Heading home. Someone was pulling out of Chessington World of Adventures, which is a theme park for children near me. And then, basically, they were crossing. You've got to imagine, so they're on one side of the road. There's cars coming opposite me, which is on that side of the road next to them. So the car that was coming towards me flashed them to say, yeah, you can go. But they were joining my lane, didn't see me, and just went straight into the side of me. And so that knocked me off the bike. I wasn't super damaged. The bike wasn't really damaged. It was kind of a very slow knockoff. But they went straight to their insurers. And so I was like, great. Well, okay, then you're going to need to replace, like, because you're already going through the insurers, we're going to need to talk new gear because I had gear insurance. You're going to need to talk about, not just the gear, but you had to, like, I had a bad back. So you're going to have to talk about physiotherapy and all this stuff. So that ended up going that way. I then got a courtesy bike while the bike was getting fixed, you know. Standard sort of stuff. The day I was due to give the motorcycle back, because mine had finished being fixed, I got into another accident because I was driving in a bus lane, which in London, by the way, you're allowed to do in most bus lanes. So I was driving in a bus lane heading to work, and suddenly someone basically crossed the lane, didn't look for a motorcycle in the bus lane, just thinking, oh, I haven't seen a big bus, so I guess it's probably fine. Got into the bus lane, like to cross into a side street, and I just went straight into the side of them. Straight into the side of them, T-boned them. From 30 miles an hour to 0 in a split second. I hit the car on the side, bounced straight up, and then landed on the road. I felt okay, but it's one of those things. If you get hit off on a motorcycle accident, you're actually advised not to get up. Because even though you feel fine, you might have done more damage, and it might be the adrenaline kicking in. So I stayed down. I ended up going to A&E. They had to do an x-ray because my leg was in pain. Turns out I was fine. I got discharged within a few hours. Didn't go to work that day. And I walked away with basically some aches and pains, and a scab on my chin was the only thing I got because my helmet had been sold to me. Had been badly... Basically, they hadn't actually fitted my head properly. So it didn't quite fit. So I ended up with a scab on my chin. But other than that, I walked away basically unscathed. Got my soon-to-be mother-in-law to pick me up because it was a week? No, it was a month before my wedding. So I did that. And yeah, that was a whole thing that I had to do. Yeah, police had to get involved with that one. They were like, was this an accident? Was someone driving negligibly? They determined it was an accident. No one was... told that they were driving recklessly, or like, you know, no one was charged for criminal negligence or anything like that. But yeah, so that motorcycle for the hire company, who I will say were being a real pain, because they were just like, well, your motorcycle's due back now. And I'm like, no. This courtesy bike has been hired to me while my bike is being fixed. Have you been chasing to get my bike fixed? And they're like, no, we haven't. I was like, well, is my bike fixed? They're like, no, it's not. So I'm like, so then why are you taking this bike back? I need a way to get to work. That's the point of a courtesy bike. You can't just take it away from me. If you want it back, chase the garage to get the bike fixed. And so they had been a real pain about the whole thing, and I kept having to get them to try and extend it. Which they did like under duress, but we did it. And then, yeah, they, and the bike got teetotaled, so it was kind of a whoopsie daisy. I guess it was some kind of, like, karma to some degree of, like, them being really difficult and then not, then their bike got teetotaled. Steffi, no, my chin, you can look at the wedding photos. My chin entirely healed up by the wedding. By the time we got to the wedding, yeah, my chin was completely healed up, which was great. I was very, very fortunate. I might have used a little bit of, like, I think I might have used some concealer just because it was a little bit red still. So I might have used a little bit of concealer. But on the whole, I think it healed perfectly for my wedding day, from my memory. Steffi, I think you have to tell everyone how you felt during this period. Oh, that's nice. Nice, it's nice. Can you still see a scar? No, there's no scar. It should have been here. The only thing right now is I don't get much facial hair there, and I'm worried that it did some damage there. But other than that, no, he's spinning in circles in the pond. I am. But yeah, so no scar, no lasting damage. The physio I was getting really helped with my back. I only had funnily enough, the only time I've had back issues since was when I had to do the Ruin GT Lives. Because I was sat on the sofa for hours with no real back support. It hurt a lot. But we got there. We did it. We made the content. I sacrificed my back for the content. Everything for content, indeed. Have you ever done a crime? You know what? I don't think so. At least not purposefully. I've been pulled over once for speeding. It was late. I'd been babysitting for a friend. I was on my way home. It was late. The streets are empty where I was. So I was just like, you know what? I just want to get home. I'm really, really sleepy. I just want to get home. And so I was going a little bit too fast. Didn't notice the police car around the corner. They then suddenly, obviously, speed up and try and chase me down. I'm like, my guy, you can't be doing that. Asked if I'd had any drinks. I actually hadn't had a drink at that because I don't drink very often. So they were like, have you had anything to drink? I was like, I've not had a drink since 2 Saturdays ago at a friend's wedding. And he was like, oh, not much of a drink. I was like, nope. And so because I had no points on my license, and I was clearly just a kid who was tired, and I lived close by, so I was like, look, I live close by. I'm nearly home. And he was like, he just went, all right, I'm going to let you off with a warning. And so that was it. That's the closest I've gotten to doing a crime. And it wasn't like purposefully. I wasn't purposely trying to speed. I just was accidentally speeding because I was tired and wasn't paying enough attention. Do you answer random numbers? Hell no. Hell no do I answer random numbers. Random numbers are very rarely worth answering, has been my response. I have a work focus anyway. They always try and call during a work day, and I have a work focus on my phone. So it blocks incoming calls from unknown numbers. And then I will Google the number if I don't recognize it, which normally reveals that it's a spam number. And so from having a spam number, I then block it. That is my protocol for unknown numbers. If it's an unknown number and it doesn't come up on a Google search, I might leave it. Like it doesn't come up as an obvious spam on Google, I might leave it. But if it's like an actual friend or someone who's going, hey, sorry, you don't have my number, but here's my number or whatever. If it's something like that, typically I'm going, like they would text me afterwards anyway if they didn't get through to me, or they'd leave a voice message and I'd look at the voice message and they'd be like, hi, it's me. And so I go, okay, I'm not going to block that number, I'll add it to my contacts. But I do not just answer a random text. Talal, hello, hello, hello. I've also trespassed private property. I probably did that on Duke of Edinburgh by accident. I've probably, again, this is the thing, it's like, it's about knowing whether you've committed a crime or not. Because I have probably done stuff like trespassed by accident, not knowing that I was trespassing. That is entirely, entirely possible. This wall is still so dirty, apparently. How are you still so dirty, pond wall? So just the underside of, like, these rocks here. Probably is, actually, isn't it? Underside of all the rocks. Down the side of the wall. Where is this wall still dirty? How? Where? I can't really get any more under these rocks. Oh, I mean, there's this whole bit. Doi. I'm a muppet. Let's look at all this bit. There's like this whole section over here that I have missed. Of random stones. That I forgot were part of the wall. There we go. Pond wall done. Boom. The question is, how good can I do at this? Oh, yes. Nice, 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 nice. Look at all that muck. I bet this looks ridiculous. If, like, a person was actually power washing like this, I bet it looks ridiculous. Boom, boom, boom. Which Avatar Last Airbender would you bend? And why? That is a very, very good question. What would I bend and why? Oh gosh, it's individual stones. You cannot pressure wash if you've got like a gravel path like this. The stones just go everywhere and cause so much damage. What would I bend? I think I'd have to bend... like, fire's pretty cool. Being able to, like, create fire and, like, lightning. Because lightning is also a sub-element of fire, I seem to recall. So I think fire's quite a cool... I mean, airbending is... It's got to be... For me, it's probably between air and fire, just from, like, a coolness perspective. Earth and water are more practical and more useful. But I think fire's probably the one I'd go for, because I think that'd be fun. It's much more destructive. The others are much more, like, useful and practical, so I appreciate it's probably not, like, the answer everyone would go for. But I just think it'd be cool to have, like, firebending powers. It's the same, like, I thought about, when I was younger, I thought about, what would I, like, what alchemy power would I specialize in? Because there are alchemy in Full Metal Alchemist. It's like there are elements of it that are, like, within it. So, like, Roy Mustang is obviously fire. Like, it is the same sort of 4 elements, but, like, Edward is kind of is actually a wood, not wood, an earth bender, essentially, or an earth alchemist, because of the kind of alchemy he uses. And so it's going, like, you know, focusing on the elements you do there, I think is fun. You could bloodbend with waterbending, but bloodbending feels like, what's the word? Immoral. Bloodbend feels like an immoral technique. Because that literally means essentially, like that is very, very actively trying to, like, kill someone. Boom, that's that section done. There's still so much to go. I mean, we could do the garden. The garden's almost done, to be fair. Boom, boom, boom. Let's try to speedrun it to see how accurate I can be. The answer is not very. That was awful. Look how much I missed on that bend. That is basically the... Oh no, this bit here. I was going to say it's basic. We're nearly done with the actual, like, garden segment. It's just the patio segment left. What is a question you have always wanted to answer, but no one has ever... No idea. I'm awful when it comes to questions. How was Tom hired at his current job? It's a weird story. I basically went freelance. I went freelance and was I kind of made some YouTube content. And like I recommend everyone do, post stuff on the subreddit. Or make videos, and sometimes things get noticed. So I basically just, like, I knew some people, I had some contacts from LinkedIn. So I was just like, hey, I'd really like to work with this guy. Any chances? Here's some content I've made. And I then was put in touch with Jason, and the rest, as they say, is history. I pitched the Winnie the Pooh theory. They liked the Winnie the Pooh theory, and that was how I was brought on as a freelancer. And then I did my Pikachu theory, Pikachu's level theory, as a freelancer. That brought me into sort of a core team environment, and then from there, they asked me to become creative director. So blame Jason, exactly, absolutely. Blame Jason for me being around. Jason is the reason I'm around. You didn't start with game theory? No, my first theory was yeah, Winnie the Pooh on film. My second theory was actually the Captain Crunch theory on food theory. So that was my... Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Poison Heart. Appreciate it.
Tom, did you see my weird r/crappy off-brand gender-swapping jellyfish huggy in the Discord?
I did. It looked weird as heck. It was great, but I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed seeing it very, very much. But yeah, so I did film, started on film, then did food. My Pikachu theory was originally going to be a film theory because it was the anime. But then at the last minute, they decided to turn it into a game theory because Pokemon tends to do better on game theory in general, even when it's the anime. Just because of the history of the channel and stuff, I guess. And so they put that on game theory, and then from then on, Matt started going, well, let's see how you do with some actual game theory. So the next theory I wrote was Lily's Garden. That was the next theory I did. Then I did Powerwash Simulator, I think, after that. And then, or I might have done, I can't remember what, no, it was Doki Doki I did next. I did the Doki Doki Plus update. And so they kept putting me on games. I kept doing well on games. And then we had a discussion about... Because basically at the time we had a food theory creative director. They're sadly not with us anymore. They moved on to other things. But yeah, They basically were like, hey, do you want to do game or film? And we chatted about it. Obviously, I'd done a lot more game at that point than I had film. And just given my love for video games and my not lackluster knowledge of movies, but I wasn't like a cinephile. And so they were like, yeah, I think game theory is going to be the better fit here. So that's how that came about. In another universe, Tom was the film theory creative director. Yeah, exactly. It's a weird thing to think about because Star Theory wasn't a thing. And yeah, I mean, I think food theory could have been fun. I think I could have enjoyed it, but the science element of food theory was not like my strength. I could do it. It just wasn't my strong suit. But I enjoyed food theory. But, like, it was the lore stuff that I was good at. That's why they kept putting me on game theories, because I was a writer that enjoyed doing lore videos. And so, like, all right, then, well, we need people to help Matt with lore, so do that. And then, yeah, making me creative director, they were like, yeah, you are now the ultimate lore person, and you now have to help write FNAF theories. I was like, oh no, what have I done? Yeah, wouldn't be able to fully escape FNAF even if I was film theory or food theory, because there's a cookbook coming out as well. So I would never be able to fully escape the horrors that were Five Nights at Freddy's. But at least I wouldn't have to deal with the video games or the rabid fan base. So, you know, win some, lose some. Lore Master Tom, thank you. Because that's the thing, like, we have some science episodes, and I've done some sciencey episodes on game theory, but typically we have a number of our writers are big sciencey or numbers people, like numbers guys. Or girls, to be fair. We do have a few female writers as well. But, like, we've got people that are better with the science and the math than I am. And so often I'm going, hey, you guys focus on that. I'll focus on the lore, which is typically trickier for people to follow. Whereas math and science is good and a little bit easier, I think, because, well, you're either right or you're wrong with math and science. You're either right or you are wrong. There is no in-between. Garden bit's looking lovely. Now I just got to do this bit. Yes, Zekron, I did figure out, yeah, they released it, basically almost immediately, within 24 hours they released it. I only got an email today about it being released. There's no reasoning for it released. They're just going, we have determined that it is suitable for advertisers. So I'm like, well, great, you've released it. I wish I knew what the flag was so that I could maybe try and mitigate that from happening at all in the future. But alas, no. But yes, it has been released and is suitable for advertisers. Can you tell us your D&D story of your bard? Oh, what was my... the problem is, it's been so long. It was my first ever D&D campaign, so I don't think we did backstories fully. I don't think we actually... I had some level of backstory, but because a lot of us were playing for the first time, the DM went really soft on us. And so he was like, look, don't worry about it too much. Let's just have some fun. It was also my old college or sixth form and school friends. So it's people we hadn't seen in a long time, so we didn't want to go completely crazy. So I can't remember fully. Again, I know that my character... So my character was Lorxian, the bard. And he had a habit of announcing his own name whenever he entered into a room or whenever he met someone. It was very much Lorxian. Basically, he saw himself as the greatest bard of all time. But no one knew who he was. He was, like, too good to be understood by his generation. Like, nobody... Like, it was that thing of, like, I'm too much of a genius for these nitwits to understand kind of vibe. He, and I actually took the idea of him announcing his own name from, if any of you have seen William Shatner in Boston Legal. In Boston Legal, he plays a character called Denny Crane, who is meant to be like one of the best lawyers in Boston. And he often says Denny Crane. And William Shatner was asked, why does he announce his name so often? And it was, he needs to remind people of the presence. Like, he needs to remind them, like, do you realize who is in your presence right now? It's like, let me just remind you that I am here and I am the Denny Crane. And so that was very much my inspiration for Loxian, was because he was, like, unrecognized in his time, he felt the need to announce himself wherever he went and remind people that they were in the presence of the masterful, talented Loxian the Bard. He was half elf, half human, I think was his class. But also because he was a bard that no one actually knew, he would often do a little bit of, he was doing a lot of sleight of hand, a lot of trickery and thievery, just because he needed to make ends meet and couldn't, doing what he was doing. So he would often, I also had some good dexterity in his class so that he could, you know, like, eat by stealing things and selling them, or just by stealing food. He was very, very good at that. Yeah, that was Loxian. The loot was his weapon of choice. His instrument of choice. But, like, I remember we almost did it. We never got around to doing it, but there was an idea because we did a one-shot. They then did another one-shot without me because I couldn't make it. So they did another one-shot. The plan was that, but they were talking about continuing that one-shot to be a two-shot. And we said that if Tom is available, what we should do is basically Loxian, wherever it is they are, it doesn't matter where, he would just swing in on, like, a rope or a vine. They would just, like, in the beginning, like, they enter into a fight or something, and all they'd hear is, Loxian! And they'd be like, what? And then I just swing in on, like, a rope or a vine, doesn't matter where from. Like, it would be a mystery how and where I got the vine or the rope from and how I was hanging from anything. But I would just show up unannounced and then join the party and just be like, I couldn't leave my comrades behind. Which level did you play as? I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I think we just did, like, level 1 stuff. It wasn't, like, super high leveled. Again, we were all very new players. So, like, I remember I think we got to, like, level 3 by the end of the campaign. It wasn't much. It was just, hey. Yeah, it was just a, hey, like, let's play something and be a bit silly and a bit funny about it. What else is there? Is it just the patio now? Oh, this fence post is mighty dirty. What else is dirty then? It is just the patio. It's just because it's so big that it hasn't registered it. Interesting. How do you was it spelled? It was spelled Loxian. Lorxian. Loxian. For the iceberg, of course. Yeah, Loxian, as Steffi did it. But yeah, so that was kind of the story of my bard. There was his backstory. Like, I didn't really have a full backstory in terms of like where he came from or like what he was doing before he became a bard. I never, like, again, the guys I was playing with, we were all amateurs, so and like proper amateurs. So there was never a sense of going further beyond like, who are you and what do you do? And so I did the whole like, you know, you know, he feels like he came before his time. This generation won't recognize him. He feels he's great, but no one's heard of him. Like, there will probably be some stuff I can develop where it's like, oh, he's, like, therefore, because of that, he's built up some, like, trust issues because he basically sees himself really deep down. He sees himself as a failure, so he bigs himself up because he feels the need to validate himself and he's desperate for the validation of others, therefore, which gets him into trouble. Like, he was also he was helpful early game because he was a big flirt. So I was getting like nat 20s, admittedly, but also like, you know, assisted 20s with a dirty 20 with my bonuses. So he's a bit of a flirt. So he seeks affirmation from women. He's never really had any friends because his dysfunctions actually force people away, again adding to the whole no one recognizes my genius, no one appreciates me vibe. But therefore he seeks affirmation in women and in people, and when they don't give it to him immediately, he discards them because they're not providing the thing he needs because he never learned to deal with the issue himself. It's probably a lot of that sort of stuff. Is that how you feel at times too, like your bard? I used to. Not much anymore. Therapy helped a lot. Highly recommend therapy. Therapy helps a lot with that stuff. I think I felt that way. That's probably, honestly, what it probably is it's a hang, because again, this lot that I was playing the game with were my old friends from high school when I was big theatre kid in school. They weren't all theatre kids, but I was big theatre kid. So I can imagine, so there was probably some spillover in terms of playing to the crowd of going, they'll expect me to be a theatre kid, so you know what? They're going to get me as a theatre kid in D&D. So it's probably a lot of that, honestly. So, because that's how I felt a lot in school. Like the song Mean by Taylor Swift spoke volumes about like my life. I had people that would bully me relentlessly in school. And part of people bullying me relentlessly was saying, no, you can't sing. That was actually something that was said to me a lot, was, no, Tom, you can't sing. You're bad at singing. You're off key. You're out of tune. Da-da-da-da. That was something I was told a lot. And I knew it was unequivocally false. Like, I had so much evidence to say this is false. But I think what they didn't like was my, not arrogance, but just my bullshit, my willingness. I was slightly bullshit. I was willing to put myself out there and sing randomly. And I enjoyed singing. But they didn't like that confidence. So they bullied it out of me, essentially, or tried to bully it out of me. And so, like, that line in Taylor Swift's song where she says, you know, drunk and grumbling on about how I can't sing, but all you are is mean. I was like, oh, that song. When that song came out while I was in high school, it, spoke wonders to me. What is Tom's eye color? Have a look. Jokes on them because you can sing so they can take that, losers. Yeah, it all kind of turned around. Like, it's funny. I do look back at the fact that I'm now a streamer with a small audience and working for Game Theory. When my my yearbook was I got the award for most likely to become famous. So I think people's attitudes changed on me. Like, I think partly I chilled out, which helped. But I think, and like, I think I just came to some mutual agreements with some people. Just like, look, you don't like me. I don't particularly like you. But look, let's just be civil. Let's not be like horrible to one another. Let's just like agree to disagree and let's move on. And like be civil so that we can actually like hang out with mutual friends and it not be the worst. Like, and some people, by the time we were sort of 17, were grown-ups enough that they were willing to do that. So I chilled out. And so, yeah, I then got the award for most likely to become famous, which is just like funny to me now. Tom is a Swiftie. I was a Swiftie. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to Taylor Swift in a long time, like properly. I loved her country days. Loved her country days. Was a big fan of all of her old country music. I owned all the albums up until Red, I think was the last album I bought. Yeah, I think Red was the last album I bought. Because after that, she started going into her poppy era. And, like, it was when she did, like, what is it? I personally am not a huge fan of Reputation. Like, 1989 was a good album. I like that album, but I didn't buy that one. And again, I was more into her country than her pop, but it was still good pop, don't get me wrong. But yeah, Reputation just wasn't for me, personally. And so I basically was just like, I just kind of fell off the bandwagon with Reputation. And then, like, she's done folklore and stuff. I've listened to some of the stuff. Obviously, like, her new stuff is her new stuff is great. Loving her current stuff. But yeah, it was just one of those things, I went through massive, I love Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, and Miley Cyrus were, like, my go-to listening choices on the way to school. Can I change, I wonder? Can I go wider? I can go wider. Oh, you're not straight. That's unfortunate. Tom, you were bullied. Did you ever fight someone? I punched 2 bullies in the face. Don't recommend it. I do not condone violence. I used to have a problem with, I wouldn't call it an anger management problem strictly because I didn't have anger management issues. I just struggled to keep my emotions in check. Sadly. And one of the bullies, he'd been bullying me. This was like year 7, so I was like 12. He bullied me relentlessly for like a year. And so I just one day, I was like, I've had enough. And then I punched him in the nose and gave him a bloody nose. Which again, I do not condone and do not recommend, but it did shut him up. And then after that, the other one was, again, a kid that bullied me for a very, very long time. And again, my emotions just got the better of me. The worst part about that was I went to punch him in the shoulder. That's what I was aiming for, was his shoulder. He then ducked, which meant I didn't hit him in the shoulder. I hit him in the eye and gave him a black eye. So, again, it was kind of like, well, you tried to outsmart me there, and it backfired. But also, don't bully me. I'm stronger than I look. But yeah, I also... Oh, Buble. Buble was also in that rotation. I should say I was a big Buble guy for many years. Buble was one of the artists I listened to probably the most. Like, over the years. Buble was the guy I ended up listening to consistently. Like, his last album I didn't listen to so much, but that's mainly because I don't, like, travel anywhere. I used to... motorcycle for work or go on the train, and so I'd listen to music a lot. I don't listen to music that much anymore. The thing that I don't listen to any, like, I now tend to listen a lot more to podcasts. What? What's left? Step wall. Oh, there's a few things. Step wall, swing sofa cushion, lawnmower engine, lawnmower handle, and shed decoration. Okay. Step wall. That's retaining wall. What is step wall then? There we go, you. So the step wall done. It's a sofa cushion, it said. Let's say I bet it's the underside of that cushion. Shed decoration ×2. So it'll be hanging plants, maybe? Oh, you're done. Like these. Oh, well, that was easy. Then it's the lawnmower engine. Go lawnmower, and then what was it? Lawnmower. Just lawnmower in general, apparently. There it is. We did it. Yay. Oh. How and when did you fall utterly in love with Steffi, and where did you meet Steffi? Those are two very different questions. Just to be clear, it was not a love at first sight. I met Steffi. Oh, look at this. You can see all the little bits getting done. That is quite satisfying. Nice. So I met Steffi at church. Let's clean a dirt bike. Yeah. So I met Steffi at church. I just moved home. I moved home after university. Moved back to Horsham. And I basically moved in with my parents. Went back to church. And at this point, Steffi's parents had just moved to where we were. And so Steffi also finished university. And so joined the church, and I met her there. So it's like, oh, hi. And my dad basically introduced us, being like, hey, you guys are like the same age. You should get to know each other. I was like, okay, sure. He introduced me as like she did health and safety for a degree. My initial my first question to her, because I was a techie, obviously, doing a TV degree. And the thing I hated, the kind of role I hated nothing more was health and safety people, because they tended to be real sticklers and ruin everything for creatives. So I said, right, what do you do if you see a loose cable? And she said, gaffer tape it down. So I was like, great, you're in. So I liked her from that point on. But I had a girlfriend at the time. I had another girlfriend. I say another girlfriend as if I had like multiple on the go. No, I had a girlfriend. My university girlfriend who I was with for almost 4 years. So I was dating her at the time. So me and Steffi were not a thing for like, what? So that was 2015. I broke up with my girlfriend in 2017. So it was the end of 2015. So like there was another year and a half where I kind of knew Steffi, kind of didn't. Because the other challenge is, the other challenge was, I should say, was my ex was the very jealous type. She was convinced that my parents didn't approve of her. And so would often be like, oh, why don't you go and just date Steffi? Because clearly your parents would like approve of her, blah, blah, blah. That sort of thing. Which wasn't true. I wasn't interested in Steffi. But because of that, I kept my distance from Steffi. I literally was just like, it's not worth my time to even like be her friend really. So I just kept a distance. I just was like, I'm not gonna cause myself more issues by being a friend. It's just not worth it. So I didn't. So we kind of remained acquaintances, maybe loose friends at best. And then I broke up with my ex because it was a toxic relationship and was awful, and I absolutely needed to get out of that. So I did. And so I... yeah. And so basically at that point I was like, I should get to know this girl who I've essentially been ignoring for, you know, a year and a half. Because she seems like fun. Plus, she lived in the village that I lived in as well. So she was like round the corner. Which meant that I was like, oh, she's round the corner. Like, she's someone like, if after a long day of work, like, I want to chat to someone, like, we can go to the pub and do that sort of thing, because the pub... Because it meant there was someone close, because all my other friends lived in the town over. So I was like, hey, do you want to go to the pub? So we started going to the pub semi-regularly. It was helpful for both of us, because both of us needed, like, help processing sometimes. And so by having 2 people, like, having both of us there meant we were able to, like, process ourselves a little bit more and, like, talk through our concerns or our feelings about things. So that was fun. Yeah, we just kind of got to know each other through that. It wasn't until Steffi went away on a mission trip to Africa. She went away to Africa, and we've been texting. At this point, we kind of got to the point of texting every single day. And so I realized, I can't text her, 'cause she was, like, without internet where she was. So I was like, very... Like, this is weird. Like, I kind of miss her in a weird way. And my friends invited me over for dinner, I think. And they basically interrogated me somewhat. And were like, hey, why aren't you and Steffi a thing? Because basically, me and Steffi getting together was something everyone else saw except for us. We were the last to realize it should be a thing. So we were like, hey... They were like, oh, that didn't do what it was supposed to do. That really didn't do what it was supposed to do. Why didn't it do what it was supposed to do? That was meant to make me go big cam. But it didn't. Well, there's the time lapse. There we go. But yeah, so they were like, why aren't you and Steffi a thing? I just don't see it. I don't see it. But I did. So it was at that moment I went, I do miss her, weirdly. She then got back from Africa. She was about to go away again on another trip. And so we went to the pub to talk about Africa, to be like, how was it? What are you thinking? What are you feeling about there? Because there was a potential that she was, like, toying with moving out there. So there was all that discussion. I said, so let's go to the pub. Let's talk about it. So we talked about it. And my friend Chris at the weekend before had been like, he got drunk at a wedding and he was like, you should give it a chance. What's the worst that could happen? Very, very drunken Chris, my best man. So he, which he takes full credit for. So I mentioned this to Steffi and she just went dead silent. When I said, oh, Chris was joking that we should get together. She went dead silent. Turns out Steffi had a crush on me for a very, very long time. Even when I was with someone, she kind of shut it down. But she was like, oh, I think I like this guy. Particularly when she met me, she was like, he's cute. And so I was then, okay, well, why aren't we trying this then? So I invited her to a date. But the only day she could do before she went away again for another week was the next day. And so we went out for a date the next evening. And hit it off, and it went really well. And then that was that. And the rest, as they say, is history. We carried on dating. Yeah, carried on dating. And then within 7 months, we got engaged. And within 7 months after that, we were married. So there we go. But yeah, that is the story of how I met Steffi. And the story of... Why aren't you working? Oh yeah, it's because I'm not on the game, I don't think. Yeah, it's the story of how I met Steffi and the story of how we ended up getting together and how I fell in love with her. Now they're the king and queen of the Dapper Kingdom. Exactly. We haven't got super long left. I don't want to do the gnomes or the locomotive or these things. Let's do bonus job in the desert. Yeah, so these are ones you have to unlock, I guess. Let's do the Mars rover. But yeah, so big story, lots of history. Oh, the spiralizer. You got the spiralizer for this one. That's fun. Ah! That sent me flying. I love that they've got gravity physics. That's great. Shrink yourself. Oh, yeah. Will it work? If I press the button, will it work? Nope, it's not working. Why isn't it working? That's really annoying. Give me a sec. There we go. My Steam Deck is not working on that for some reason. I need to figure out why that is, because that is really annoying. Because I want to be able to use that button to make me big and small. Hello, Lorraine. Great to have you. Thanks so much for tuning in, friend. Big Tom sounds like a mob boss. It does, doesn't it? Well, it's like Tom Nook. Tom Nook is a mob boss, obviously. We all know that. No one's like doesn't believe that. That's all it is. He's Big Tom. Big Tom. I'm gonna give him an offer he can't refuse. I was very proud of that cold open when I wrote that. That recent Tom Nook theory we did. Very proud of that cold open. I thought it was a very, very good cold open personally. I'm gonna give... Simple. I'm gonna give him an offer he can't refuse. And then everyone that did the voices was great. Having... I can't remember who did the little Tom... The little nephew voices, but I know that Lee, creative director of Film Theory, did the voice for Tom Nook himself. I was like, this is great. Ba-da-da-do-do-do-do-do. Going prone, baby! Getting under the rover! Gosh, you gotta clean out all of this as well. That's gonna be a nightmare. Oh, hello. %40 depleted? Oh, gosh. Oh, is that tied to my, Yeah, that's going to be tied to my, completion rate. So it's like, oh, you've only got this much complete... Like, you've only got this much oxygen. You've, like, lost 40% of your oxygen, but it's because I've done 40% of the cleaning. That makes sense. Can you imagine if something like this got into the wrong hands? I mean, there are many movies about exactly that issue, so, you know. It kind of is what it is at this point. We've watched enough movies, I'm sure we could figure out a solution. Yeah, Ash was at the last VidCon. Dan and I were unable to attend, sadly. I was on vacation during VidCon this year. I was gutted to miss it, but hopefully the next VidCon. Or, I say, not the next VidCon, because I know there's one coming up in... I don't know where. It's on the East Coast, I believe. There is one coming up soon, but I'm not at that one. When I say the next VidCon, I mean the next Anaheim VidCon. Next big boy VidCon. Dang, you were very dirty, camera. Cameras and sensors aren't designed to be this dirty. This is going to be a disaster for you. No wonder they needed to send me to clean you. Jeepers. I saw that Ludwig video about the latest VidCon. What's the point if there isn't a Disneyland trip? I think it's a cost-cutting thing because of COVID. Because a lot of these kind of conventions lost big money because of COVID, because they all had their conventions cancelled, which means all of that money, they obviously had to refund all the tickets, which means all the money they spent on the events got cancelled. And so things like the Disney trip, sadly, are just seen as like non-essential, which I totally get. And so they're just like, well, we can't afford to do that. Plus, you've also got to bear in mind, there are more creators than ever before at events like VidCon. And so to suddenly have to close the park and pay for everyone to go, like, to close the park is a nightmare. And then you've got to just consider, like, everything. Like, I mean, if Ludwig was smart, he could organize a VidCon trip for all the creators. Like, get everyone to, like, go, hey, we're going to close the get the park closed. We need people to chip in their money, like, their cart. Because, again, the thing is with like, the challenge is obviously you have to get people to pay for it. But you could organize something to get something to happen. If you want to hang out with people and do, like, the YouTuber VidCon, Disney trip, it could happen. You might just need to, like, put your money where your mouth is and make it happen yourself, you know. All right, what else is there? The mast. Oh. Ah! Well, I did something. Body mounted sensor, okay. Body mounted sensor, so it's this thing. There it is. Charlie, Emily, FNAF, hello, hello. It'd be funny if the Space Rover was owned by Afton Robotics. It might be. Don't see why Afton would need a rover on Mars. His experiments seem very Earth-related and very infinite, eternal life-focused, as opposed to, you know, trying to explore other worlds. He's not Elon Musk. And if it doesn't seem to be, let me check the actual thing. What is it saying? The drill needs cleaning. The X-ray needs cleaning. Oh, there's a mystery hatch, isn't there? As well, I forgot about that. So X-ray needs cleaning. Where's the X-ray? That's a thermoelectric magnetic generator. That's the camera. You're the drill, so you need cleaning. There you go. So that's the drill. X-ray spectrometer. Dun dun dun. Great. There you go. Mast camera. Mast camera, wheel hub. Which wheel hub? I bet it's this one here. Yeah, I bet it's this one. Can I actually get under this? You know what? I'm going to go to this thing. There we go. Got that. Which bit is the camera? Mast camera. So that's the turret, the drill. What is this? Is anyone interested in the Elon Zuckerberg fight? I mean, Elon keeps pulling out, and Zuck's basically said it's done until he's willing to take it seriously. So, I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Like, Elon basically, like, he was like, yeah, I'm up for doing it. There's our alien footsteps. Yeah, he was basically like, yeah, I'll do it, we'll fight. And then when it actually came to it, he was like, no, I'm actually not gonna, like, oh, I've got a bad back, or oh, I need to have it, this injury needs to heal first, and da-da-da-da-da. That was what was kind of going on, and then Zuck just kind of went, look, guys, this fight isn't happening. Until he takes it seriously, it's not happening, so I'm gonna move on and shut it down. There you go, we have some aliens apparently in this hatch. Hello, little alien. Little alien gnome, I like that he's green. That's fun. I'm glad we shared that. That was fun. Woo! Boom, there we go. Don't worry about the emergency job. My bud's called it off. It rained last night. Also, you wouldn't believe the dream I had. Should have done brain science. Bizarro. Sure, buddy. Sure. Oh, well, that is probably going to end up doing it for today. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. This has been fun. This has been a good little chill stream. I've enjoyed chatting to you all and telling you many, many stories. Appreciate you guys all tuning in and sticking with me throughout. Ah, no, wrong thing. Kind of embarrassing about used to be an Elon Musk guy. I really regret the stage of my life. Hey, we've all been there. We've all been through phases which we regret. I look at people I used to like look up to and go, "Oh, that is a mistake. I shouldn't do that in future." Shannon, hello. I've just seen your name pop up. Hello, welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. But yes, I appreciate you all being here. Please do remember to like the stream. And of course, if you're new, please do subscribe. If you haven't already, it really, really helps us out. We will be back on Tuesday with some more Uncharted 3. That is the plan. So thank you. Yep, that's basically the plan of it. Thank you for keeping me company in chat as always. Appreciated. If you would like to chat to all these wonderful people some more, there is a link for the Discord in the second line of the description. So please head on down to that description box and check out the Discord as well. We'd love to have you. And yeah, with that, I suppose we should probably just wrap up and say goodbye. So thank you everyone once again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So